Wait. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live for a historic Zoran Mamdani announcement today. Whoa, what is happening? What is this? Oh, put that there. Okay. Think we're good. Let me make this smaller. Display the chat messages. Zoran Mamdani is scheduled to be giving a speech in just now a press conference. New strike with nurse last minute because of the whole nurse protest or whatever. Well, there's that whole protest going on with nurses, right? Gang, what is up, Clay? I hate when they like preview these things because sometimes it'll go live and I won't be able to watch it. I don't know what this is about, guys. I don't know if anyone knows what this is about. I have no intel on what this is supposed to cover. So I don't know if anyone else does. I'm sure some people do. Still need the last Mamdani market to resolve. Wow, really? It hasn't resolved yet? What's up, Lucas? We're having a good morning so far. Looks like this is getting a little delayed. Let's check with the mentions Discord, make sure nobody has a stream that's actually already up, because sometimes they stream it on other stuff. First time trading? Wow. I don't know. I might not even enter positions, guys. Like I said, someone said it's bus related. Isn't everything bus related for Mamdani? Everyone's always like it's a bus. Hopefully you guys were on the good end of the fare free buses. Selling Mamdani's schedule for $100. Honestly, it'd be good to find some type of freaking place where you can get like a good Mamdani schedule. It seems to be very difficult to figure out when the hell this guy is meeting. But yeah, I like I said, guys, I don't even know if I'm going to enter any trades in this. I don't play Mamdani. Obviously, he's very new. I'm trying to learn Mamdani, so I have to be covering all of these. Yeah, there is a lot of edge in terms of like figuring out what the hell this is about. So with the nurses, why that's a strike is like there's some NYC nurse strike going on. So, I mean, yeah, I'd be shocked if that doesn't come up. It's down to 77. Probably worth picking these up in like the mid 70s, to be honest. But I guess there's a risk this thing that like doesn't happen. I mean, no, there's not really a risk of that. You know, I'm not really saying that, but you know, once they actually get out, could he say like healthcare worker? You saw me in the picket line. I know. I got to do some IRL streams. Wouldn't that be fun? You know, just walking around New York City, seeing a Mamdani conference live. Wait, Caroline Levitt's going on something too today? Caroline Levitt on America Reports, Turiel's saying? Does Xstream have less latency than YouTube? Yeah, it does a lot, to be honest. A lot of the times Xstreams are better than YouTube, but it depends. Sometimes YouTube's best. She's on Fox. Is that tonight that she's on Fox? Let's see. Wow, that's at 1 p.m. EST. Interesting. Dude, stuff is getting crazy in the Trump admin right now. It feels so volatile. With what Jerome Powell just said yesterday. This is the most volatile admin ever, which is kind of great for prediction markets, by the way. Like, there could not be a better admin for the biggest bull run of prediction markets. Jerome never back down Powell. Dude, I'm excited for his FOMC speech. That's going to be crazy. That is going to be wild. As long as this doesn't, like, roll over before then. But, yeah, I mean, you couldn't have a better storyline for the bull run of prediction markets, like having this volatile of an admin where we're literally capturing foreign leaders. And then we're getting in fights with the Fed where we're threatening to acquire other foreign countries like Greenland. Like, this is just like, it really is a great time for PMs, man. Imagine, I mean, again, not having any political allegiance, but imagine how much more boring this would have been under like a Biden admin. Maybe there'd be some cool stuff under Kamala still, but it's been an exciting admin. That's all I can say, man. We definitely would not get this many speeches as well under a Kamala or Biden admin. Safe, safer, safety. Yeah, the Trump press conferences every day are big. Okay, this still hasn't started, right? Let me see. Thank you. Oh, this is the nurses' strike that I was just looking at. So here's some intel on like what it looks like. Why am I not attending? I will never promote courtsiding because that would wreck me. You know what I mean? So this is where, is this like, oh, introduce next appointee to his admin. So that's what it's about. Is there anything we can use this for to get some edge quickly? Who is he appointing to his admin? Media affairs appointment? Is that really what it is? Could this be bullish on no affordable? Let me see. I don't know who this appointee is. They could be someone helping with like affordability or something. In which case I'd get smacked, but let's see. Doesn't look like... Okay. Alright. Yep, I'm not going to be able to buy anything live. Well, look, I was getting this at 24, guys, so please don't, like, mog this to 60. Just put limits out. Please do not market buy. Jeez. Someone bought all the way up to 60. New York Mayor names Raphael Espinosa lead Office of Media and Entertainment. Okay. I mean, that has to be bullish for... It probably... Like, that's pretty bullish on no for affordability, right? I mean, obviously they could still say it, but, like... I don't know if I'd ever buy no nurses, even though this isn't going to relate to nurses. Obviously, they're going to ask about the strike, because this is, like, big in local news. There's probably an angle, potentially, with this, too. What does this have to do with safety? I don't want to have too big of a limit out. Oh. Getting absolutely jumped. Okay, so this still isn't live. I think the question is going to be if there's questions or if it's just him talking and then leaving. There's definitely going to be questions. Hit one of these IRL sometimes. Let's do it, Riley. Anytime. Oh, you're saying go to one of these actual announcements? No, I'm down for that. But, like, I would just report on it, you know? We need to ask this appointee to create a public Mamdani schedule? Seriously. Like, that should be first. She needs to represent mention market.
Hi, everyone. This is Bill Ritter, and you're watching live coverage from ABC7 New York. We invite you to check in.
He needs to represent his mention market
platforms for breaking news, up-to-the-minute headlines, and AccuWeather. And remember, you can always find us on Channel
Okay, guys,
7,
be careful on the whole affordability thing. Did you see what Clay just said? Espinal will advance the Mamdani's administration's agenda to ensure New York City remains a place where artists and creatives can afford to live and work. Okay, so that's pretty bullish on affordability, yes. So just be careful buying no's. That's really weird. I would have thought if it's somebody in the media, Office of Media and Entertainment, I did not think it would be like that type of angle. I thought it would be like someone in charge of like comms. Yeah, guys, just be careful on this one. I honestly am probably just going to sell out. I mean, I only have 30 shares. I don't care. Economic and home, yes. Whoa, safe is kind of moved. This was posted 11 minutes ago, so assume it's related to this. I think it is related to it because the, Clay, the Eyewitness News says Mayor Zoran Mamdani to introduce next appointee to his admin. So it kind of has to be about this appointee, I figure. I guess home and housing kind of goes hand in hand with affordability if they're really going to say this person's job is to like help with affordability somehow. New appointee will report directly to the Deputy Mayor of Economic Justice. Holy cow. That's a good buy on economic then, Ivan. But also, how the hell do we have somebody called Deputy Mayor of Economic Justice? Is that a real title? Has that been a thing for the longest time? What a weird name. What do you put for expiration on the limit orders? I mean, I personally don't usually put expirations like now. I just get ready to pull them. You can just cancel them immediately. So like right when Mamdani comes out, I would cancel my limit orders because I don't want to get sniped. Like right when, like if he says a word right from the outset. But it depends. Like if you're trying to just accumulate positions before an event, you can set the expiration usually to be at the event start. But we're right now past the event start time because it was supposed to start at 11. So yeah, I know this music is kind of suspenseful. Immigration, kind of like 55. Mass engagement office? What is that? Is that for Twitter engagement for Mamdani? Format, layout doesn't scream tons of questions. You're saying because of like this setup here, Nick? Could be kind of accurate there. I just want to know what Moonlight's on. That's all I care about. He loves, yeah, he does love to yap. Wow, this is suspenseful music. Before doing a boss battle. You know what's funny? I was thinking about this. I have like not played any video games in so long, and I used to play so many video games. I used to play League for like, I mean, back in college, I would play League for like 12 hours a day. You know, back in high school, I would play RuneScape for like 10 hours a day. There was a time in college when WoW Classic came out, I was playing that like 16 hours a day. Yeah, this is the video game. I mean, I say that carefully, but like, man, prediction markets are just so fun to me. It feels like a video game. I mean, it kind of does in a sense of like, yeah. I feel that a little bit. Like, I get the same vibe of like treating it like a video game, sort of, which obviously, I say this stuff cautiously because like if you're someone losing money, guys, like dramatically, obviously this is real money, so don't treat it like a video game. But like in my extent, at least, it feels like a video game somewhat. And a lot of what I do has to do with like what I would call what's it called? Oh yeah, mechanics in like games, you know what I mean? Where you have to like in RuneScape, you have to like click, 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 like do the right clicks. I feel like that rewards me really well on Kalshi, because a lot of the time stuff I'm doing is like very fast. It's only there for a few seconds. You needed a break? Yeah, I feel that, dude. Honestly, I've been going super hard the last few months, obviously. Like this weekend, man, I was watching every single sports game and just staring at freaking order books. My eyes are just like, were just so red after like, yesterday was like 10 hours of games back to back to back. Saturday was 2 games back to back. Friday night game, Thursday night game, just like, my eyes have been getting fried. If he says nurses, does that count? Yes, plural forms count. So nurses would 100% count. But yeah, I do need something, especially because I've like dialed back drinking a lot. I like in 2025, I was drinking a lot to kind of help with the stress of trading, having a lot of money on the line, doing content, all that stuff. But I've kind of cut back on drinking in the new year.
This is Bill Ritter, and you're watching
so I need I should play.
New York. We invite you to check in throughout the day on our website.
Yeah, they mainly are Bay Area. It's mostly just arbitrage. I'm not like directional.
And AccuWeather. And remember, you can always find us on Channel 7,
sports.
your home for eyewitness news.
Breath of Wild, being offline completely is a great feeling. Yeah, I have started, like, on the weekends, I dial it back a little bit. Like, on the weekends, I was, like, walking in the morning and I was not on my phone for like 30 minutes. It feels crazy because I'm so glued to my phone. I'm so glued to my screen. My brain just will like hurt. Like yesterday during NFL, anytime halftime would come, especially the 8 p.m. game, because I was so exhausted by that point. At halftime, I just was like talking to my partner that I was trading with, and I was like, I just need to go outside, close my eyes, and lie down for 30 minutes. And that's exactly what I did. Then I came back, got ready for the second half. Unfortunately, it was a blowout in the second half. I really wish that game was closer because I like when it's close games. Oh yeah, it's interesting you chronically played COD. I feel like if you play League in OSRS, you're like a PC person, so you don't typically gravitate towards like Call of Duty. But I almost got into COD, but it's such a big file to download for your computer that I didn't end up playing it because I wanted to play with my coworkers. They would all play Warzone every like few nights, and I was like, that would be so fun. Imagining playing Warzone with like my VP, but it was just like 100 gigabytes. I did play Counter-Strike. I was actually LEM at one point, so I was pretty good at Counter-Strike. So I'm good at clicks. I got the mechanics down. Here we go. He's starting. Which stream is faster?
Good morning, everyone. I would like to say thank you first and foremost to everyone for joining us here today, including Speaker Menon and reps from SAG-AFTRA, IATSE, Local 52, and Local 764, WGA, MPA, and our Arts and Culture Subcommittee. Today marks the first day of a new week in the greatest city of the world. Hours ago, before the sun began to climb, countless New Yorkers started their days conducting our subways.
Wow, this is way faster.
Driving our taxis, putting out our fires, literally and figuratively. And yet what might feel mundane to the people of this incredible city is fascinating to the rest of the world. There's a reason that countless films and television shows have been created depicting life in this incredible city. The daily routine here is so vibrant that it demands artistic expression. And we know the art that reflects this city also shapes this city. So much of the collective memory of New York is drawn from how it has been captured on screen. The Central Park foliage from When Harry Met Sally. The summer heat of Do the Right Thing. The culture of hustle of Marty Supreme. And yet that memory does not exist on its own. It comes from a city that treasures the arts, that invests in the arts, that makes it possible for artists and all who contribute to making New York's entertainment industry to live lives of creativity. I'm thinking of the actors, the writers, the stagehands, the camera operators, the makeup artists, the technicians who make New York City a union town. And I say that not just as the mayor of New York City, but as a former PA myself. City Hall is tackling the cost of living crisis so that artists can raise their children here, that they can afford studios and homes here, and that they can take fast and free buses to shoots here. But we don't want our efforts to be limited solely to making New York affordable for those making the arts.
Oh, there it is.
We also want to make New York affordable to make the arts as well. So together, we are going to do just that. I am proud to announce that Rafael Espinal will be serving as our commissioner of the Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment. MOM does incredible, often unseen work. Most productions that are filmed in this city interact with this agency. And I was struck by Rafael's passion for this specific work and the importance that it holds for New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs. Because art is much more than just imagination. It demands organization, resources, logistics, and often a great deal of external support. MOM has long existed to support the industries that work across our city's creative sectors. And with Rafael leading its work, I want New Yorkers to hold high expectations. For many New Yorkers, especially the Brooklynites he represented in the city council, Rafael's name is synonymous with fierce advocacy, with a love of this city, and with a commitment of uplifting those too often forgotten by our politics. And for those of you who may know some of the videos that we made in our campaign as I ran to become the mayor of this city,
if he doesn't take Q&A, no nurses could be a good move.
Incredible artists that were a part of that, Melted Solids, actually found their way in working for Raphael many years prior. And more recently, as Raphael has become the president and executive director of the Freelancers Union, he played an integral role in the state passage of the Freelance Isn't Free Act, which provided protections to freelancers across our state. This industry has long been an example of how creative work can and must be valued work, from the line workers to the craftspeople. And under my administration, MOM will make sure of exactly that. We will stand alongside the union workers who have long lacked champions in elected office, and we will work tirelessly to expand the number of high-wage jobs available to New Yorkers. I can think of no one better equipped to lead this office in this particular moment, because we want New York to chart a path where the city known across the world for our cultural contributions also becomes known as the place where government proved that it can play a pivotal role in fostering creative imagination. Let our success be felt when the most talented, driven artists in the world want to shoot their projects on our streets, and when the youngest talents who already call this city home, making their first projects in playgrounds and public parks, know that their imagination will be supported by that same city. So much of New York's greatness has been depicted already, and yet we all know that the best shot has still not yet been filmed, that the best score has still not yet been recorded, that the most ambitious visions have still not yet been screened. So together, let us usher in a golden age of New York expression.
Golden age.
One that all of us can enjoy and afford, whether by watching it or by creating it. Thank you so much. And now, our commissioner, Raphael Espinal.
Okay. Is there going to be Q&A? That's the big question. You can see no shares aren't going to skyrocket up.
And I'm honored to serve as the next commissioner of the Mayor's Office of Media Entertainment. Thank you, Mayor Mamdani.
Remember, everything this guy say doesn't matter. It's just
build a city
Mamdani.
that every New Yorker, no matter whether you're on your way to become the next Tom Cruise or you're on a set as a grip, you can afford to live in. I grew up in East New York in the 90s. Films and television were my escape. They transported me to new worlds, and they made me want to create new worlds of my own for my friends and family. So I started making short films when I was 13 years old. But growing up on the edges of our city, I didn't see a clear pipeline into a real career in the creative industries. And I heard the same message too often. You need a plan B if you want to afford to live in the city. So life pulled me in other directions. And I'm proud of the work that I've done along the way in the New York State Assembly, in the City Council, and at the Freelancers Union, fighting to make it easier for working New Yorkers, especially creative workers, to make ends meet and build stability.
When Mamdani comes back, it's going to be a big deal. Wait, let me bring this down. When Mamdani comes back, it's going to be a big deal of like, is he going to take Q&A? I mean, I think he's going to take Q&A, but like, if he doesn't take Q&A, you have to be fast to get no shares on some of these strikes before, because whoever's going to be first to like hammer some of these no's will make out pretty well. But he's probably going to take Q&A, right? But I'm just saying, say he wasn't, you know. If he comes back and immediately hits Q&A, I'm going to buy Nurse yes, probably. If he doesn't, obviously I'll buy Nurse no. But Nurse is getting super low, down to the 30s. Actually, I'm pretty bullish on being able to buy some of these, so let me put a bid up.
I wanted to join Mamdani's administration because of its whole of government approach to affordability. Because if New York is unaffordable, we don't just lose residents.
It's getting super cheap. Holy cow.
Proud of some Dominican immigrants born
oh, I'm getting penny jumped.
Being able to marry my work with my passion is a dream come true. Thank you again, Mr. Mayor, for this opportunity.
Getting absolutely penny jumped.
And thank you to my family and my friends who are here with me today.
I'll probably go all the way up to 30. Should have just eaten. Oh my god, I'm just getting penny jumped. Brutally. Disgusting. I'll go all the way up to 30. That's where I'll put it up. Oh man. This is, I'm not gonna get anything. Okay, I'm just pulling my bids. This is a fruitless endeavor. But let's see, he's coming back. Yeah, he's already coming back.
Many
okay.
of us may know her as the current
now he's gonna intro the next person to speak.
Commissioner, and we're very excited to have Speaker Julie Menon here with us today as well.
Thank you so much, Mayor. I couldn't be more excited to be here for this critical announcement. I may be biased, but I think MOM is one of the best agencies in the city. I served as commissioner from 2016 to 2019. And MOM plays this key and critical role, as you heard from the mayor, as you heard from our new commissioner. It's an economic driver. It's a $104 billion industry with over 305,000 jobs.
No Miss Moggs on her saying economic. People are getting too sharp.
To grow that in terms of good-paying jobs for New Yorkers. I do want to mention a little-known fact that there are actually more jobs in New York
Any
City
plans to do a sports stream?
not
Not at this point, John Jung.
So there's a lot really
I have a
I've had
pretty good
the
edge
honor
I've
and privilege
found
of
for the
working with
sports
our
stuff
new
I'm doing.
commissioner, Rafael
If the
Espinal, for
edge
many,
dries
many
up,
years.
then
First on the
in the
Freelancers
future
and
I'd
Free
probably
Act,
talk
which
about
was
it.
passed at the city
But
level
obviously
and
I'm kind of trying to keep
implemented by
it
the Department
under
of
wraps,
Consumer
I
Affairs,
guess,
which
for
I
now.
chaired. And then more recently on the Freelancers Hub, which still exists in Dumbo, which was created by MOM and really talks about the gig economy and making sure that workers are being uplifted, that they have insurance, and so many critical needs that we have for freelancers. And then lastly, something that wasn't mentioned is that Rafael Espinal had the bill to create the Office of Nightlife.
No one cares what these
And
people have
we
to
created
say.
the
Let's
Office
go
of Nightlife
Q&A.
at MOM, and that really supports the nightlife industry and makes sure that our nightlife industry is as vibrant as possible. So thank you, Mr. Mayor, for inviting me here today. I couldn't be more excited to partner with you, Commissioner.
Am I going to go trade one of these in person? No. I can't. I don't want to promote See, he's coming back out. Now it's going to hit. I can't believe Nurse got down to the 30s.
I had a question for you. In one of the many interesting last acts of Eric Adams before he left, I think on December 31st, he proposed new regulations for press badges through the Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment. I was wondering if you have an opinion on that, on what he has proposed, and maybe why.
No hints for now, but maybe in the future, if it dries up, it would be. I could maybe. That'd be fun to explain like what we were doing.
Do you have a take on sort of his posture since leaving office in that sense as well?
You know, I'll leave the former mayor to answer the second part of that question, but what I will tell you is that we will be withdrawing those.
Nurse is about to get a Cadillac pension deal.
Much of the reason for that is that we view
oh wait, let me turn this back up. Sorry.
Proposals as being an attack on the press and the free press, and there's no need for us to be advancing that same vision.
What did you find problematic about them?
I think when going through a number of the different specific proposals, we just see time and again that the intent is not to strengthen whether the public's access of information or even the way in which we work with the press corps. It more felt as if it was an intent to tighten and restrict the press's ability to engage with the mayor's office, and that is not something that we want to be putting forward.
Do you feel like it was attacking a specific type of journalist that covers you more than him?
I'll be honest with you, I can't speak to that. Thank you.
I'm wondering if I can get you, Mayor, and the Speaker, and possibly the new Commissioner to weigh in on this.
Why not all three?
To getting film productions to do their business.
Wow, they're staying
in
on
New York
topic
City.
on film.
A lot
Interestingly.
of times they ask for tax breaks. A lot of times they want a deal. They want a break. But when you're talking about affordability, shouldn't you be asking them to pay even more, even if it means potentially sometimes losing the business here because they've got the money? How do you respond to that, since in the past, a lot of people say, well, we'll film in Vancouver if you don't give me that tax break?
I think we also have to make the case for New Yorkers and for New York City. And part of making the case is emphasizing the importance of this industry. I think the speaker said it herself in terms of the sheer magnitude and scale of this industry is one that's often lost in our landscape. And the reason that we both made the decision to have Rafael as our new commissioner and to announce this position at this juncture is because we want MOM to take a different kind of prioritization within our own administration. And that means active and affirmative outreach to all those who would be considering to shoot and make productions here in New York City. But also, separate from this, how do we make it easier for artists who are already here to start to actually act upon their imagination? Too often it feels like the world of arts and culture and the world of New York City politics are completely separate. And we want to do the work to ensure that we have someone who is seasoned both in the inner workings of government as well as has the imagination of someone who's been outside of it in how we can mix those two things together.
Great. Well, first of all, we have a state
Okay, she's
tax
coming to
credit for
talk
the film
again.
industry that is working and that is attracting new film and TV production to our great city. If we didn't have that, we would lose a tremendous amount of production.
Man, I wish I
As
got
I
more
mentioned,
safer.
these creative sectors are $104 billion
It's like
for our
trying to lie
economy.
by
We
anything.
can't lose that.
It's
So we
brutal.
have a state tax credit in place. There actually used to be a city tax credit years ago in the Bloomberg administration of 5%, and then that was eradicated to instead do free bus and subway advertising for productions that were made in New York, which is what MOM does. So I think we have a good system in
Man, they love
place,
the
and we'll be
free
able
buses.
to, with this leadership
I've never
team, be
ridden a
able
bus
to
in New York. I've
attract
never
the
ridden a
film and
bus
TV
in
industry
LA. I
to
mean,
our
I've
city.
ridden like Greyhounds,
That
but
city tax
I
No,
almost
I don't
always
want to
take the
bring back the
subway.
city tax credit. I don't think we need to bring it back. I think we have a very good state tax credit that is working, and it's why so many movies and
Can I
film
get a city
productions
tax
wanna
credit,
shoot
dude?
in
I have
our
to pay
great city.
taxes to the freaking city. I have to pay
wanted
income
ask,
taxes
I
to
know
the city. How
it's kind of a
crazy is
two-part
that?
question. The first is, I know here and in LA and even in Atlanta, since both COVID and the Writers Guild and other SAG strikes, production had been down.
Look,
I know
I'm
we've
not
seen it
getting
here a
into
little bit.
politics,
It's been
but
hard for people to find
it's
work.
wild
Is there
paying
anything
income
planned
tax
for
to a city.
you, Mr.
That's
Mayor,
all I'm
or the
gonna say.
Commissioner to improve that? And additionally, I know the selection of Raphael to this position, he's been the head of the Freelancers Union, but most productions in the city are SAG, Writers Guild, Local 52. Is his selection, I know it's not a prerequisite to be the commissioner, but I don't know if that's maybe a more expansive view of production and creative work here in the city beyond just the traditional unions we see working on film and TV projects.
I think even more than Raphael's recent experience, he has always stood out to me as someone who sought to bridge the worlds of arts and politics. And I really do
Arts
go
and
back. We have
politics.
Anthony here in
Interesting.
the crowd from Melted Solids. We can give Anthony a round of applause. I do just want to highlight this for one moment. When Raphael was a city council member, when Raphael was running for public advocate, he was already utilizing the kinds of digital tools that have
Digital.
now become
AI.
a fixture in our politics. But at that time, it was advancing a different kind of vision of how to share the stories of New Yorkers with New Yorkers. And, I am the proud son of a DGA member, and my mother would always tell me that if we don't tell our own stories, no one else will. And I think that we know there are so many stories of this city that are being told on a day-to-day basis, and we also know that there are more stories to be told. And something that stood
Let's
out to
tell
me about
more
Raphael, both in
stories.
his remarks today, but also in the conversations we've had, is his passion, born and raised in East New York, for becoming an artist in this city, and then the obstacles he faced time and time again, in no small part because of where he was born and raised and where he was coming to that moment from. And what we want to do is make it as easy as possible for any New Yorker who has that imagination to become an artist in this city. And I think that there is obviously the larger scale case we have to make. What we also want is someone running MOM who understands the logistical barriers, the organizational barriers, the kinds of barriers that someone can then use as an example of why they would want to do something elsewhere, go to another city, another place where it's easier to interact. It's not actually always about money, it's also about ease. And that is something that I am so excited about, is that we will finally be bringing this ability to look at both worlds and how to actually bring them together.
Question about, there's been a reduction in productions across the country. Anything you can do or want to do
Gotta be ready to
for all
fast
three
click
people to
on
encourage
any moves.
more productions and then more jobs here in the city?
Seems like a
I
nay
think
day.
we're going to take every opportunity to highlight the importance of this sector, of the incredible New Yorkers who make it a living, breathing thing, and also the part that, this is a sector that is in pre-production, it's production, it's post-production, right? There's so many different approaches to this work and different timelines, and all of them require the recognition of the mayor, the city. We're going to keep doing that each and every day, and also look at what tangible ideas we can be putting forward through MOM as policies and proposals to make it easier to do work in the city.
Yeah, Chris, Julia.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Oh, Chris, go ahead first.
Okay, got it.
Could be a nay day.
That was a little bit confusing. All good. You mentioned you want to do more active outreach from MOM than perhaps was under the previous administration. Are there any other aspects of how MOM behaved under
is
Eric
MOM?
Adams that you want to change or that you saw as not being sufficient? And I guess while on the topic of Eric Adams, are you going to buy one of his new crypto tokens?
What? Crypto
No.
mention?
And No.
Wait, Eric Adams launched a crypto?
And to the question of our commissioner and of Mom, I have to tell you it was far more of a reflection of being inspired by his vision, his passion, than a question of what has preceded it. And I would also invite the commissioner to share some thoughts to that end, because there is so much that can be done for artists in this city. And what I've appreciated, and this is partially to Katie's question, his experience is also understanding that an artist goes beyond the categories that we've typically used in this city. But I don't know if you...
Yeah, I mean,
here we go.
Just to further expand on your question, I think generally government doesn't really work well for the people it's designed to serve, or hasn't historically, right? So this is an opportunity to look at how MOM can make it easier to produce jobs in this city, because if we have more production, we'll have more access to jobs, and if people have jobs, the city becomes more affordable to them, right? So first thing first is how do we go in and audit how the agency is currently operating, and make the case to the mayor on what investments need to be made to ensure that the communities and the constituencies we're trying to serve are being served.
Needs a bigger budget than it currently has? Is that some of the changes you
I can't speak to that right now, and I look forward to having those conversations moving forward.
I don't know. For the commissioner. Being that we see the production trailers all over town, and they're there for a couple of days, there never seems to be adequate notice to the streets and the neighborhoods when they're there and for how long. You get a sign up on a tree or a pole and maybe people see it. Is there any way to improve that? So
Dude,
that
the artists
know,
in Central Park are sick. I walked to Central Park for the first time since going to New York. It's so cool. They have the coolest artwork just in the middle of Central Park.
It's a great question. It's one of those quality life concerns a lot of New Yorkers have. I think there's a lot of creative ways to look at that, right? I think the mayor has done a great job.
It's so therapeutic.
To communicate to New Yorkers. How can MOM play a role in educating and informing communities?
Snag no safe at 45
on the ground. How can we use our websites better? How can we use our communications newsletters better? But of course, we have to remind New Yorkers that production brings opportunity to our city.
I guess we're back to
local
bonding.
Investments.
Hopefully they resolve these fast.
Our local parks, to our businesses, to our vendors. So I think we need to take an all-around educational approach to ensure that New Yorkers know the value of having those trucks there, but also that the trucks and the productions are doing the best job they can to inform New Yorkers that they're going to be working there.
We'll do off topics as well. Yeah, Courtney.
Mr. Mayor, last week New York One aired a series about taser use at the NYPD, specifically with mental health encounters. We found that it was used hundreds of times against people every year in mental health crisis, and at least in 2023, in 73% of those incidents, the person was unarmed. We also uncovered that there had been a death in 2024.
Could be NYPD mentioned
and the NYPD never told anyone about it. Someone who had died after being tased. Do you think the NYPD should be using tasers against people in mental health crisis? And did you watch the report and have any response?
And is that in reference to Adrian Cevallos? Okay. I believe that any death deserves a thorough investigation. We also have to acknowledge that our officers are being placed in difficult situations and tasked with responding to mental health crises as opposed to tackling serious and violent crime. And so our focus is going to be on both reckoning with what the situation is currently and also charting out our new path forward.
Do you think that tasers should continue to be used in mental health crisis?
I think that this is part of the many questions that we are looking at when it comes to the Department of Community Safety.
All right, Matt, we've got time for one or two more. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, Mr. Mayor.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Holy dodge.
Last week you did the presser at the Williamsburg Bridge.
I didn't
You talked about how design should, allow cyclists to ride without having to break the law. Within 24 hours, NYPD set up a ticketing sting right there. So I'm curious, have you directed your police commissioner to end the criminal summonses against cyclists, or do you plan to do so?
The criminal summonses with regards to
cyclists and bike riders, yeah.
So that is something that I've made clear, is that I think that cyclists should not be subject to criminal summonses, and that's a conversation.
No, people are jumping me.
As well, or is there a distinction for you there?
That's part of that conversation.
Nice.
Thank you.
We have to run now.
Thank you, guys.
Holy. It's already over. Oh, give me. Gimme. No. All right. What an interesting speech. Can I get some more no's? No, don't go to 99, guys. Don't go to 99. Oh, wow. Am I getting filled at 91? What? How did I just get filled at 91? Maybe I'll go... What do I go? 96? Let's go 96. No, he's sizing up at 99. It's already 99. It's already 99. All right. It's over. What did I make here? 200 there. About 100 there. That's 300. Then what did I make here? 20 bucks. Okay. I made about 330. Okay. This is not updated. Let me see. Yeah, we made just over 300. Dang, dude, I almost got filled way more on... I gotta do these Mamdanis more, just live trading them like that. I can't believe I was getting filled nose at the... Dude, nose on NYPD went down to like 90. Or yes went to 90, so nose were down to like 10 cents. That's crazy. And then he dodged saying NYPD. Wild speech, man. Man, I should have put more limit no buys up. I should have gone to like all these different strikes and just had them up in case people were just going to hit them. Because I can't believe people were filling at 91. Well, surprisingly, safe no held. I got that at 20. I mean, I only got 50 shares. You won $5 on this musty? W. You got smoked, Ivan? Were you on a ton of yeses for like economic and stuff? You went heavy on economy? Yeah. Look, probably a good buy. Oh, wait. Let me hide my cash. Don't look at my cash. It's fake. I'm just kidding. What did you post, Audie? Wins all around kind of day. Let's go, JP. You got immigrant no, but didn't put enough into it. Yeah, I mean, I just think like Mamdani, safe was no. Yeah, I think Mamdani is just he hasn't been solved yet, right? So he's still super inefficient. We only have a few Mamdani speeches. There's not a lot of historical. So my opinion is, let's think about what we did right for this speech. Okay, A, there was no announcement on what the speech was going to be about. But we ended up finding it before the speech started. We found out it was about, you know, this whole appointment. You got to invite Catboy someday? I did. I did a whole interview with, I did interview Catboy, Audie, like 2 months ago when he was only at 30K profit. I'm going to interview him again now that he's hit freaking 200K, the madman. But I do have a full interview with Catboy. If you go on my YouTube or you search back on my Twitter, it was back when he turned 1K to 30K, and I was like, this guy's going to do a run. I knew he was going to be as crazy as he is now. Maybe not as crazy, but he's just like, he's insane, dude. Guy is wild. Oh, yeah, I'm going to do it again. Have I ever withdrawn? Of course. What do we like for Caroline at 1? I don't know yet. Let's look at that one. I'm curious how it's priced. She doesn't really do these Fox interviews much. Holy cow, dude. Ice at 99. That's hilarious. Mamdani again at 3:30, dude. All right, well, whether I like it or not, I'm going to learn Mamdani. So we have Caroline Levitt in 1 hour. Then we have another Mamdani speech at 3:30, dude. Holy cow. Talk about a jam-packed schedule. It is up only this month. I probably can't stream the Caroline one because Fox isn't public. You know what I mean? I don't want to get copyrighted. You think Mamdani's a lot more centrist than people think? Yeah, I completely agree with that statement. He's very similar to AOC. So if you remember, AOC was very far left, at least especially in campaigning, yada yada. And then now that she's actually gotten to office, she's actually voted a lot more moderate than people might believe. And she's becoming more moderate, especially as she considers like future political gains. And it's very smart because you want to be like that. You know what I mean? She's probably realizing it's like at the end of the day, you need to capture voters and you need to, so like broadening your voter base is just like very smart. You know what I mean? People get too binary on it needs to be this, like, you know, like I think she's doing really well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. We'll probably be back at 3:30 to cover if Mamdani is doing another presser. Everything for Trump is currently marked as closed press. Hopefully, he opens some of it up to the press. But, all right. Take care.